This week, Pastor Jim focused on some very important aspects of creation narrative that we read about in the book of Genesis in the Bible. He discussed how we are made in the image of God, male and female. He discussed how we were created, that it was not only for procreation, but also to represent the union of God and his people. Genesis explains that woman was made from a man by taking the rib out of Adam. I love the symbolism tied to this image. Woman could have been created out of something that was over the man, like the skull, or something below the man, like his foot. But God chose to form her from something beside the man, from his rib. As Pastor Jim discussed, this truth is explored deeper in a letter in the New Testament written by the Apostle Paul to the church in Ephesus. In this book, called Ephesians, Paul writes about this union. You probably have heard this passage in a letter a time or two if you've attended a wedding ceremony in a church. I won't take the time to read it now, but I would encourage you to do so. Most of it can be found in chapter 5. This passage includes a very controversial statement that wives should submit to their husbands. But what is often completely overlooked is the first verse right before it lays out the husband's and wife's role towards each other. It says, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ." The letter paints a picture of what mutual submission should look like, which Pastor Jim talked about, living and doing life alongside one another, beside one another. The rib taken out of the man can be a great picture of the foundational institution that was created. It was the first contract created, not of pen and paper, but a spiritual one, a joining of two people by their relationship with God, how God intended it to be between a man and a woman. Marriage is such more than a court document. It is a way that we get to see God's relationship with us more fully. We are his bride, whom he loves and ultimately gave himself for. So again, my challenge for you today is to take some time to read the letter of Ephesians and really see what God wanted us to take away from the relationship of marriage.